Cam Ward, I know you watched him, and I want to pump the brakes a little bit because I haven't seen him play in this division against this type of teams, SEC teams, ACC teams. Y'all brought in this great quarterback, and we have to see what happens. Everything's around Cam Ward, this team, Mario Cristobal getting this team going back to that old Kings thing. Well, we've heard that too many times. Y'all are favored in games, but I understand that. But I told you, I'm not betting either way because of the fact that these are two teams that have a bunch of new players trying to figure out what's going on. There is an advantage for me and the Gators playing in Gainesville. 96,000 plus, screaming and yelling. Has Cam Ward seen that at Washington State, whatever the hell he was? I'm telling you, Hawk, who is going to walk out there and see this crowd in Gainesville? It's not going to be as easy as you think. It ain't no cakewalk.
23-9 in college football playing against the West Coast garbage-ass team? Listen, I hope Cam Ward becomes Cam Newton. I really do. But you do not know what he is. That could have been against Rice. What if he had 5 touchdowns against Rice? Do those count? But he's transferring, so he wasn't balling wherever the hell he was. What was it, Wisconsin or Nebraska, some damn where? Where was he at?
I think it was like Washington. Or
Washington State.
Washington State, and obviously somebody was playing over him. But I'm saying it's not going to be as easy as y'all think it is. These are two teams that they don't know who they are, and we're going to figure it out next Saturday. What's that butt like?
This is the guy who wants us to buy his seasonings?
I didn't say all that. Was that AI? That had to be AI.
That was ASS. Oh, man. You are lucky FSU is as bad as they are because it takes a little bit of the focus of how bad your team is.
Oh, goodness. Great. FSU will run us out of a stadium. Are
Man,
you kidding
so
me?
we did a show yesterday. Solana and I, Crowder was off, and so we haven't talked about it with Crowder yet. I mean, you had to be, Solana put that together about you talking about Cam Ward. You had to be impressed with what you saw from him, right? What were your impressions?
Cam Ward, the Heisman hopeful, all that stuff, it's legit. That last touchdown, running to his left, letting that thing go, BB on the back of it, bro. Cam Ward is legit. He has a arm, and he makes it look so easy.
He looked casual, right? Like it was, but that's a guy who, I was saying this yesterday, that's a guy who obviously trusts his own abilities, but also trusts the team that he has around him. But he looked like just casual when he would drop back.
Restrepo's touchdown, that wasn't 10 yards. That was 30 in the air on a rope. I honestly, I can't even, I was wrong. I don't say that very often, and I love the montage, Solana, go to hell. Bro, Cam Ward is legit. And Gino told us, I told you the thing that scared me when Gino said, he was like, he's my friend. He was like, hey, Channing, just let me know. I'm going to let you know. He can spin it now. He can spin it. Listen, Cam Ward is a bad man. I'm not going to lie to you. Cam can play.
I said yesterday, and now after having watched last night's FSU game, it is just a great time to be a Hurricane right now when it comes to football in the state of Florida, because I think the toughest Canes game in state is either going to be FAMU this Saturday or USF in a couple of weeks. FSU looks like straight up garbage.
Ugalele, whatever his name is.
Ugalele had
wide open guys.
I mean, he was. I mean, what is the backstory? John Michaels is going to join us today. He can probably tell us. Was FSU in the mix for Cam Ward, and he ended up choosing UM, so they got DJ Ugalele?
Is that the story? Because
I don't know.
Got the wrong one.
I don't know. We'll have John Michaels explain it. But
I don't need to see any more games. They got the wrong guy.
Your Gators team.
Terrible.
I mean, I don't know how dominant the Hurricanes are or how bad that Gators team is, but that was laying an egg in front of 90,000 fans. But you kind of knew what to expect. Like everything that we'd heard going into this matchup, that Cam Ward, like you said, can spin it, and that the Gators, their total wins for the season was set at 4.5. Like, because the pundits got it wrong with FSU.
Yeah.
They're 0-2. They got it wrong with FSU. They seem to have gotten it right with the Gators and the University of Miami because that game played out kind of the scenario that a lot of people were saying that it would.
If you don't put the DJ Lagway in that game, that's a Eastern Carolina score. That's a 40-3 game.
Are Gators fans calling for him now? Do they want him to be the starter?
I was wrong on Cam. I was right on Mertz. I've been saying it. I told them start DJ Lagway from the beginning. Yes. And if they're not, they're crazy. Graham Mertz was confused.
Oh, breaking news here. What's going on, Solana? I haven't even looked. Just play out the breaking news bed. We paid for it. We want to get every second out of it.
Guys, correct me if I'm wrong. How many teams make the new updated college football playoff format again this year?
12 is the new new poll released.
Right. The Miami Hurricanes are number 12 in the AP poll. Let's go!
Let's go!
Well deserved.
Be in the top 10, in my opinion.
Oh, well deserved. They will be.
Although you open the season and beat a cupcake like Florida, there's only so many spots you can move up.
Listen, man, it wasn't just a win. It was a butt whooping. They could have scored 60. They could have scored.
I felt that way.
They could have. They pulled. How do you have to take your foot off the gas on the Gators at home? It was ridiculous, man. No, they have something put together. Physically, too. Physically, they were choking us to death.
Well, that was the thing I was saying yesterday. You had talked about so many times, about the size on the offensive line, defensive line. That offensive line for the Miami Hurricanes was as impressive as hell.
We couldn't do anything in their defensive line. Man, when we had to throw, man, Mertz was back there looking crazy. He couldn't even take his hand off the ball. He wasn't even thinking about throwing it. He was thinking about getting hit in the back of his head every time. It was impressive. I'll tell you, they are justified 12, and they'll be top 10 here in no time. They can play ball.
Yeah, what's the how does the poll look, Solana? So it's I'm guessing Georgia's 1 still, and then what?
Georgia is number 1, as you mentioned. Ohio State jumps up to number 2. They played Akron, I believe. It was an easy victory. Yeah. Texas is up to number 3. They play a big matchup this week on the road at Michigan. Michigan also in the top 10. They're number 10. In fact, Alabama's number 4. Notre Dame, big-time victory at College Park Station this week. So they move up from 7 to 5. Ole Miss, number 6. Oregon, number 7. Penn State, they beat West Virginia up to 8. Missouri, 9. Michigan, 10. Utah is 11. The Miami Hurricanes are 12. And USC went from 20 to number 13. They beat the 13th ranked LSU Tigers. So they move up precipitously as well. I'm just looking here, gentlemen. FSU out of the top 25.
Oh, I couldn't see that coming.
What?
They should be out of the ACC. The ACC should turn around and countersue them. We want you to leave now.
We embarrassed you last year, huh?
Yeah.
Well, what are you doing to us this year?
Yeah.
They should get relegated to the FCS.
Relegate them.
They're bad.
Bum team.
Bums.
And I'm just
So who'd you say is ranked above UM?
Above UM. So UM is 12. 11 is Utah.
Now what's their team name?
The Utes.
A two what? A two what?
Utes.
A two what? Like Solano was actually looking back at the bowl, like I was trying to.
He can bite that line every time. He gets me too. The Utes.
The second I read it, I'm like, oh man, I know where this is going.
To what?
I'm gonna bite that.
What is a
Ute?
Pretty much half of the teams in the top 25, the Florida Gators still have left on their schedule this season.
Bro, this Gators team, I mean, and FSU, I mean, we are looking at a complete like seismic shift in the way the major colleges are looked at in Florida when it comes to football, because the nation is talking about UM. I said this yesterday, like, people love when a team like the Canes goes into Gainesville and does what they did on Saturday. People are on notice, and it's a fairly easy schedule. Like, so you've got FAMU this Saturday, then it's Ball State, and then who is it? Is it Georgia Tech after that, Solana?
USF after that on the
USF
road at
after
Raymond
that.
James.
Yeah, come on, Bulls. Let's go, Bulls. Gotta cheer for somebody. These damn Gators gonna let me down all year.
We got a lot of stuff to get to today. We're going to play the Don Bailey Jr. calls today. He worked in 4 calls on the broadcast Saturday. I've heard from Solana that they are very good, so I'm excited to hear them. John Michaels is going to join us. I want to make sure we have enough time with him. He was in Gainesville, so let's begin today's show with headlines and Alejandro Solana.
Driven by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Super Center. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford. We know trucks. Yeah, DJ Uyunglele, not Ugalele, as you
Not
guys
ukulele?
Not ukulele. Uyunglele.
I live bet FSU last night. They went down. It was 14-0. I live bet them plus 2.5. Really Whittingham's fault because he live bet them. And then I was like, oh, this makes sense. They'll come back. So I live bet them plus 2.5, and the team is just garbage.
Well, I blame you for everything last night, Hawk, because I'm sitting at Sports Grill. They have DirecTV at Sports Grill. I'm there for my fantasy football live draft. DirecTV and Disney right now are on the outs. You can't watch ESPN if you have DirecTV. So they can't even show the game there. So I'm checked out of this game totally. I'm doing my fantasy football draft. Hawk texts us that he picked FSU.
And I live bet him.
And I said, you know what? That's a great bet, brother.
Right?
So
Made all the sense in the world.
Also. I live bet FSU also, but now I'm watching this game. I pull it up on my phone. I'm not paying attention to my draft. FSU doesn't cover, and my draft grade came back from Yahoo Sports. I drafted an F+ team, according to Yahoo Sports. So Hawk or Chris Whittingham, go to hell.
Well, FSU got a F+ quarterback in the portal with his ukulele.
I hit him in the head in the middle of the night. New Mexico versus Arizona. I don't even remember what day it was. This quarterback for New Mexico had 68 rushing yards, 300 yards passing in 6 minutes. And they're like, oh, you never know, New Mexico. Man, I was like, there's no way this kid can keep this up. Arizona,
you know what I bet yesterday? Yesterday on the show, I was looking at Dolphins player props for Sunday. The over-under on Tua rushing yards is 2.5. And I bet the house during the show yesterday on Tua rushing over, because that's going to last 1 week. He's going to rush for 14, 15 yards, and his over-under is going to be set 9, 10, 11 rest of the season. 2.5, no chance. Dude's going to eclipse that in the first quarter.
I'm jumping on with you, baby. I'm riding this train with you. I like this one.
I like that one. That's a faulty line. All right, let's get headlines here with Solana.
Yeah, so for those of you who were out of pocket yesterday, didn't listen to the show, obviously the Miami Hurricanes did win. 41-17 was the final score over the weekend. Cam Ward, we talked about it yesterday, 350 yards in the air, the most by a Miami Hurricanes quarterback in their debut since at least 1980.
Ooh. That's special.
It is special.
And like you're saying, his numbers aren't going to go down. It's not like they're playing any choke 'em out defenses coming up here soon. He's going to be in the Heisman race.
This is an epically easy schedule. It just is.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm speaking out of pocket there, right? I mean, it is. FSU obviously is going to be a tough game. Not as tough as you thought it was going to be, but it's always tough when you play FSU. Who else is on that schedule, Solana, that
Clemson's boo-boo.
Well, they don't even play Clemson.
They don't even play Clemson.
Oh, my goodness.
We talked about it. Their toughest games, I know it sounds crazy, but their first conference game is Virginia Tech. That's a team
Tech lost to Vanderbilt.
I realize that, Hawk, but
no, I was telling Crowder.
Yeah. Is it at Tech?
Hmm?
Is it at Tech?
I think so.
At the Hard Rock Stadium.
It's a Friday night, right?
I believe so. Yes, it is.
Man,
it is.
come on.
You're at Cal, first time you play them in ACC action, and then you're at Louisville back-to-back weeks. So you get Vautech at home, at Cal, at Louisville, and then you host Florida State. After that, I mean, it's teams you should beat. Duke at home, Georgia Tech on the road. They're ranked, by the way. I think they're 23rd. They're 2-0 this season. Wake Forest at home, and then you finish out the season at Syracuse. I mean, you take care of business. I guess you beat Georgia Tech and FSU. I mean, you could be looking at a situation where the Canes run the table this season.
No, OG going to have about 5 on y'all in Syracuse game.
Tell you what, first catch, Tutty.
He's healthy.